always loved getting people out on a gravel road and letting them see the farm life firsthand, whether it's in the field at our full-time farming jobs or here at home on our own little cattle ranch. So now I'll bring the camera along and you sit back and ask the questions. Let's explore this Midwestern farming and ranching lifestyle together. This is your channel. This is Dodge Brothers Farm and Ranch. Hello again. Well, after another week of being rained out of the field, we're finally sneaking back in to do some tillage. Hopefully we're going to be able to run that planter tomorrow. We're going to need some sunshine and some wind to dry this soil out, and that's why we're working it up right now. Even though conditions are marginal at best, we need to get the soil opened up so that it can breathe and get dried out so that we can plant it as soon as possible, because guys, it's getting late. We've got some longer season corn, which we'd really like to get planted on this particular field before time gets away from us, because it's going to obviously take longer to become mature and dry down in the fall so that we can harvest it and not have to dry it excessively with the dryer back at the farm. This piece of equipment that we're using to do our spring tillage with is a Landoll VT Plus. And although it may look like a disc, it's not exactly a disc. It does have disc blades, but they are much less concave shaped than normal disc blades. They're quite a bit straighter, and they're a lot closer together than a normal disc would have the blades spaced. And the two rows of disc blades are at a much shallower angle to each other than a normal disc would be. It's got a spring-loaded rolling basket on the back that comes along and breaks up any clods that you make and firms the soil surface and does the final job of leveling. Now, given the shallow angle of these blades, we have noticed that this piece of equipment does a much better job if you can pull it pretty fast. 9.5 miles an hour is ideal. If you can't quite pull it that fast, sometimes it doesn't just move quite enough soil horizontally to do a good enough job leveling. That's another reason that we've put so much work into getting our chisel pass in the fall as level as possible. Because when you come smoking over that ground with this VT Plus in the spring at 9.5 miles an hour, it's nice to have a fairly level surface to travel over. We went away from the traditional shovel-style soil finisher a few years back when we saw this piece of equipment demonstrated on one of our fields that we were having a lot of trouble getting through the residue with that soil finisher. Some of these corn hybrids are leaving extremely durable stalks out there in the field, and the chisel wasn't doing a good enough job of cutting them up in the fall, and we were having trouble just dragging piles of corn stalks through the field with the soil finisher. So we were looking for another option to try to alleviate that problem, and we had a local dealership that came out and demonstrated this VT Plus, and we were amazed at what it was able to do with a single pass across the corn stalks to cut up the corn stalks, break up the root balls, and leave a nice level surface to plant into. So far we've been really happy with it. We have had to change the front row of disc blades. I believe a couple years ago, they take the brunt of the wear when it comes to rocks and just general wear because they're breaking up the soil first, and the back row is just kind of coming along and leveling it off after the front row has broken it up. So it wasn't surprising that we had to change those front blades out after a few seasons, but I gotta say they've been really, really durable blades. We've been happy. We do have a fair amount of rocks, and we try to get them picked up as best we can, but we do end up hitting some at fairly high speeds with this piece of equipment. and the blades have really hung in there and done a good job. If I had a complaint about this piece of tillage equipment, it would be that if you are doing anything on the end rows to ridge up a berm when you turn around, like let's say you're pulling it with a track machine and the track drags as you turn around and throws up a ridge, or if you're putting manure on in wet conditions in the fall and the way that you turn around kind of throws a ridge up, it does not do a good enough job of leveling those big rough spots out. It just doesn't move enough dirt horizontally to do the job. And that's kind of the idea behind the machine. Actually, VT stands for vertical tillage, which is the idea that you want to lift the soil more than you want to slide it back and forth, because when you're sliding the soil horizontally, you're actually creating another hard layer underneath where you're doing your tillage. Well, that's a wrap on that field. As always, thanks a lot for hopping in and riding along with me today. If you have any questions about anything related to this video or anything else, just drop a comment in the comments section. Also, if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and hit that bell right next to the subscribe button. That way you'll never miss another video when it comes out. You'll get a notification and you'll know right away that you've got another one to watch. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time, and hopefully it's soon.